Hi, we're just going to do some crusty bits, Paula Journal Artista's technique, or what I like to think of as like reverse jelly printing. And so right now I just took some leftover purple paint and made what looked like the suggestion of some flowers or some grapes. So now I'm going to add what would be like a leaf in some areas where that purple's drying. No. We'll just get some green in there. This is pretty translucent. This is the Vivid Metallics. So I'll probably put an opaque. Probably need to put an opaque green down there with it. So let me grab something. No, I had to kick Tay-Tay out. She can come back in, but she's driving me nuts. Okay. So we'll kind of make a leaf type. And I'm not worried about going on top of this dry paint because that's going to be covered up. Yeah, Tay. All right, and then let's maybe put a leaf shape coming out here. All right, so we need that to dry, and I don't have a hair dryer or a fancy USB like Travis. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way and set it aside. Tay-Tay, you can't get up. So let me put that up, and let me grab the 5x7. Well, craft inch there. Usually what I do if I'm doing this technique and I'm waiting for it to dry is I use 2 jelly plates. And I can go back and forth between the two. It's just got some leftover bits on there. I have to say, I am not getting a black craft mat again. I have a hair dryer. It's just in the other room, in the bathroom. Now she wants out. Tay-Tay, you need to make up your mind. Okay, let's. Well, we got the screen out. We'll just use it. I wasn't planning on. No. I don't know what I was planning on. I knew that it would be a semi-disaster with the little rats. All right, let's take a layer of that green off. You think it could be a Neo 1 instead of a... Yeah, it's probably just in the wrong place. Okay, that's a good little bit. Not a lot left there. Have to say most of it stuck to the stencil. I'm not, like, there's a little bit. Let's do a copper color or gold on that. I have to start thinking about what color. Might keep that gold out. Some metallic on the background might be good. Okay. I think I'm going to use the same stencil. And just turn it a different, like it's going to look different because it's different selection of it. Let's put that on here. But this is a more heavy body paint. So I don't think as much will stick to the stencil. No, that gave me, there's a layer to dry there. But both of those are really pretty. And would be pretty in a watercolor because the white would take the color. So I think I'll put those in the stash. I'm going to let this dry. I'll scoot this one over. It's still got some areas where it's wet. Trying to think what would be pretty. Like what would pop. Let's put a layer of blue and pull it through a stencil. Maybe I don't want a turquoise. I want to put a silver with something blue in it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with like a cayenne. Some of the green moved, but it's not, I don't think it's going to matter. Let's do the tree stencil. And pick up, that actually is a really pretty color combination with that little bit of green in there. And I'm going to turn that and pick up a little bit more here and there. I don't want to pick up the purple yet. I just really want to pick up some of the, and let that dry. I just took the wet stencil and laid it down and added that little bit of blue-green. It's really hard to see. I just took getting some off the stencil of the paint. All right. Now let's see. There's gold on here. There's a little green. There's a little bit of turquoise. You might want to just pick it up. If I go too dark, the purpley blue will just disappear in the green. So I might pick it up with white. I think I'm going to pick this up with white too. I'll just do a cleanup print on the last layer is basically what I'm doing. Okay. I like that, so I'm going to leave that. I think I want to put this on a piece of gray that's cut. It's just gray cardstock. That's cut down from another project. Move this over. So I'm going to let that sit and kind of dry on there a little bit. Then let's put this. There's a glare. Let me push those lights. Let me move that, direct that light away. That should take away some of the glare, but keep it enough light. All right, so get this dry. And I actually want a little bit of gold in here. In a few places. And I want the white. I'm going to stick a piece of paper on there. May need to take a little bit more of that paint back off. If you're doing a cleanup and you have too much paint, you'll just get that color. You won't pick everything up. All right, let that go on. Yeah, I love the tree mask. And I don't ever really use it as a tree. All right, so let's slide this one over. And let's see what we got. Yeah, we're going to get a pretty good cleanup. Oh, yum, yum, yum. It's got some purple in there, teal, the green. It's hard to see on the camera probably, but it's got that metallic shimmer and there is some pattern in there. It's real subtle though. Okay, let's see. The paper's going to make that slide. Too much. We'll worry about that in a minute. Okay, this one's ready too. And I don't know if our flowers are going to look like flowers or not, or grapes. Yeah, they kind of look like grapes. I think what I would do is go in and add detail. I like the background a lot. So I think what we could do is just go in and add some detail to it. Let's try. Neo 2s maybe. I don't have a whole lot of colors in the Neo 2s. We'll go with grapes. The paper's real thin, so having to be careful. Let's take a wet brush. This has still got quite a bit of green on it. Actually, wonder if the pip marker, and I'm just using a damp brush after I use the pip marker. Wouldn't be better. It'd be better if I waited. You get the idea. I don't think I want to do anything to the green. But I would probably keep working with the markers and building. Like I said, you could just leave the background and then come in. So I'll probably work on that one. It could end up getting torn up into a collage. Let's see. Let's get back the big plate. I gotta take the paper off the bottom because it's sliding. I know you can't see too great on the bottom because, like I said, the black, I don't like it. Let's use a magenta. Try to use this one up. I'm actually going to put magenta on both of them. Keep leaving the brayer down instead of turning it over. This is a heavy body that it's gotten old, so it's kind of gotten goopy. Okay. Well, we have it out, and it makes really good marks. So we'll use that. And I need to open my stencils. Oh, yeah. I'll do that there. I'm going to take this off with the gray paper. I think that pink will be pretty on that gray. And I'm going to add this pink to this one. Alright, we'll just keep kind of cleaning up some of this pink. And taking it off in the areas. And then we'll let that dry. This is a really wet stencil right now. I'm going to lay it on a piece of paper and run the brayer over it so I just don't get it everywhere. That's pretty. That'll be a pretty start to something. I'm going to leave the tree stencil out because I think we'll add in, we'll just keep using the tree stencil and build a different background with the tree stencil reminds me of coral. That came out real pretty. I'll let that dry. find... The only thing I need to do, I think, is there's too much in this square in the middle. So I'm just lifting out with a piece of paper. Some of the areas, I'm just going to tear a piece of, trying to get small and lift out in some of these areas, but leave my overall pattern. So there's something still. I think that'll work. All right. Need a fan. Ironically, I put this pink paper over here to Brayer on because I'm not a big pink fan. And we've let, it's kind of looking cool with the pinks and the blues on it. Okay. This one looks dry, so let's put a turquoise in here. And let's do dots. I'm just going to pick up the dots, but try not to pick up too much of that turquoise. Hi, Ange. We worked on the rats, but we weren't very successful. I'll show you in just a minute. They are looking more like rats when I look at them from a distance, though. Oh, those are kind of pretty. I just never know where. When I start jelly printing, there's too many wet things to know where to set them all. I have to say, now that it's dry, it is looking a little better. They are looking more rat-like. So that's where they ended up when we last left them. Okay, this is drying fast. This is still not so dry. What do we want to do with the pink? I'm thinking a layer of the PBO the orange yellow, maybe with a little bit of red blue thrown in. But this is still wet over here. So I'll pick this up. It's got that pink and that blue. I think I'll just pick it up with white and do a cleanup. I'll try to get some more of this blotted out. Let's put, I want to take just a little more off. And another piece of the gray cardstock. Get that to dry. Okay, let's put let's try a layer of the orange yellow. We'll put a little bit of the, I think this is more pink than red. Okay, let's put this over here. The Brayer paper is getting really yummy. And let's put the tree back on this one. And we'll just add to this. In fact, maybe that'll rescue this one. Just a white acrylic. It's just a white Americana. It's just in a big bottle. I have the cream and the white and the black in a big bottle. Okay. Let's pick up a little bit of more in some areas. That's the one thing, you gotta kind of, some of this little mask doesn't want to clear out. Okay. That's going to be pretty good, I think. Let's lay this down and get some of the wet paint off of it. And let's pull this off. And that turned out kind of cute. You can't see very much of the original pink stencil, but you see the turquoise, and there's some purpley in it. Okay, dry that. This needs some more turquoise, maybe. Let's try a turquoise layer on here. And I'm going to brayer that and get that there. And I don't know. I don't have that many stencils out with me right now because I wasn't planning on jelly printing. So let's add this on here. Yeah, it's acrylic. I think I'm going to use a blue to pick that up. I kind of like this one. It's wild with really bright colors. But let's do a blackout print on it in just a few minutes. I think it might look really cool. And let's see if we get anything off this stencil. No, not really. You know what? Let's put this Brayer paper on here. And see if we get anything off on it. Yeah, we got a little bit of This is, I kind of like this paper. It's getting real interesting buildup of print and texture. Let's use a little of the PBO green blue and dazzling metallics and peacock pearl. I don't know what we'll get here. Okay. Let's put the tree stencil on the little one. And put that Brayer paper there. And let's put paper on this one and do a cleanup. I hope I don't have too much of the turquoise paint. Hi, Peachy. Oh, I like that. And then let's take this off and add some over here. And let's add some right here. I was going to go down here and I didn't. I think that Brayer paper is looking really good. I don't know if you can see the details in it. The only thing it needs covered here or cut. And I probably would just cut it down to use it as a base. Okay, let me set that aside. That's pretty. You may not be able to see it close up, but it's got a lot of variation in it and some pattern. It's hard on the camera. So let's see. Let's see if we can get any of the rest of this up. And then let's go ahead and get black. Put that up. We won't need that. Don't need that. Get the black out. All right, and let's go in the stencils and find there's the giraffe. Where is the elephant? All right. Just a second. I want the elephant. Is what I want. So let me look for it real quick. I hate the way I store my stencils. I need to find another way. The problem is they catch on each other or they bend, like the giraffe is bent, which will, that will resolve itself with time. Okay. I can find the dog. And the seahorse. That's not what I want. And the octopus. Gotta be in another container. Alright. Let's look over here. Yeah, there's the elephant. I want to use the elephant because it has more space, but the octopus might be fun too. Or the seahorse is good too. We'll do two, I think. Let's see. Let's do the elephant first. Okay, so I'm just going to take black paint. And that's just black craft paint. Now I'll tell you, the PBO blue black mixed in with this is the best. Right. The elephant stencil, which is basically a mask. All right, and then we're going to take this print and put it down over the elephant. Let me find something else to let me find a print that I like, but don't care if it gets ruined. That might work. So here's what I call a blackout print. And it makes something that, was kind of a hot mess look pretty good. And then what you can do with after you pick the mask up is add it to another print. Get that. Oh, Laura would have fits. Let's see. I want that one to dry on there a little bit more. Let's see, we did the elephant, so we don't want to do the elephant again. But here's another shot of that. And probably what I'd do is go in here with some black paint and get a little bit more of this bottom done. And let me wipe off my hands. I'll show you. And you just take a loud print that you wouldn't normally care for necessarily. Trying to get my hands clean before I touch something white. Yeah, Eek for Laura would flip. Okay. So this just shows you, like, with a mat, how it's so cute. And sometimes I put a bright letter E on them, or an embellishment like a bow or a flower that's 3D. So let's, yeah, that one's got most of the black off. And then this one came out pretty cool too. It's a little more subtle. Alright, so let's put those away. And, oh, I know what we can do. So we'll go black again. Do we want to use the octopus? You can also use, if you use some of the heavy body black, you get a little more off the second, like the pole. It's a little thicker, so it'll stay wet. I just got a whole glob down the side. Which I'll do that on this one. I mean, you can see how much more opaque that black paint is. So this is an octopus that I made. Pedro. All right, and I'm going to put this one. Of course, I got black paint on my hands again. Not as much, but These are not very good baby wipes. Night, Ange. So he's pretty, I mean, he's very metallic looking and there's lots of colors in him. Again, I probably would come in with the black paint and get around his head just a little better. So there's so much black paint that I'm just going to pull on some paper the extra black paint. I have a fan up on the top. I didn't even think of that. I could have used that. That's it's onions is bad, Ange, and then smoke. Like if you've been someplace where there's lots of smoke. So I'm just getting the black paint, the extra black paint. So that you get a, let's see. And then he's wet. And we'll stick him on. Let's stick him on. Let's stick him on this. Oh, I probably won't be on much longer. That'll be someone else's turn. Let that sit for a minute. I will say when you do this, you do get black. That'll just have to be something else later. Not sure I'm going to get a very clean print on this one. It's actually kind of interesting. It might be cool buried in the background of a collage piece. Because it almost looks like, I don't like this, there's too many holes on the stencil for the head, I think. I think if you tore the edges of this and embedded it in the background of a big ocean theme type print or a project, that might be kind of cool. Well, guys, I may be about done. Let's see if we can press that black paint off. Yeah, kind of an ink. or a topography, you know, like a newsprint of a, there's some black on there. Let's do something with that. That's what might be interesting. Let's get copper. Somebody needs to figure out something to do interesting with these. I could make a whole canvas with all these little, I always throw them away, but you know. All right. Copper. That on there. With that black. That looks pretty good. Let's do. I just saw the one I wanted to use. I'm going to use a combination. Use this one that's kind of Moroccan. And I'm just going to add that on top of this black. I should have just put the Brayer paper on top of it. That added some interest to that. I have an idea what I'm going to do with that in just a minute. Take that off. Let's just, it's about time to give the stencils a bath. Okay, got one stuck on the This is what I store my stencils in, and it accordions, and they slip, and they catch on each other. They fall down. You have to put paper between them. It's hard to open. So I need something else as a plan. Okay, I think let's pick this up with some turquoise. It's the end of this PBO blue green. And add a little bit of this dazzling metallic and teal. There's not a lot left in either of those. Okay. Do a cleanup print, pick that up, see what we get. Probably be pretty grungy. That little bit of black on the bottom. Okay, let's put a piece of paper on here. I'm not sure if Laura and the jelly plate will go together. She might need gloves. Okay, that needs to sit for just a few more minutes. Let's see. May need to finish this Brayer paper out. Thinking just add some like it needs turquoise on the edges. As well. Okay, I like the edges in the turquoise there. Let's wipe this off. And we'll come back to that in a minute. Because maybe it just needs some stamping on it in black. Yeah, I think she might have a heart attack. That's pretty. It's kind of subtle, but it's real shimmery. All right, I think I'm done with that. Let's play with this. And a sponge. I know you won't be able to see it. I'm going to put black paint on the craft mat. Let's see what we can get going and interesting here. Just doing regular stenciling. And then let's take the other stencil. Some more black paint. And I'll say this was a piece of floral scrapbook paper that I have 3 or 4 sheets of, and I don't really care for it. I certainly, if I use it one time, I'm not going to use it a whole bunch. So I have a tendency to paint over papers that I don't like. Okay. I'm going to tap off some of the, get a little bit better blend. I'm going to put some of this up here too. I had the stencil held down, but not the paper. And it's just a Brayer paper, so no harm, no foul. She wants in again?
Tay-Tay's supposed to let her in.
Well, then she just wants out.
Oh, what is it then?
Just leave the door cracked and she can go in and out. I'm about done. And the TV's not on, so. She's afraid she's going to miss something no matter where she's. Yep, because paint washes off. Doesn't it, Tay-Tay? I think that's a pretty piece that could, again, I don't think I'd use it. Well, I might use it in its entirety as a background piece. You know, it's 12 by 12. It could be used as a base. She's gotten better. I don't think so, Fancy. But you know, Jean always says that she didn't like getting her hands painty, and now she doesn't think anything of it. Let me cut the side of this off. Might have gone too much to the dark side. But like I said, as a base for something, I don't think it just cut straight. But yeah, Tay-Tay adds hair to the print, paw print. She's not supposed to be on this table, but she's gotten bad about it. If I haven't been home all day and paid attention to her, that's her issue. So, let me put the jelly plate back in the box. I have no idea where, there they are. These little things are so covered in paint. I don't know if they really help or harm the situation anymore. And yeah, I wear paint to school and the kids, they don't think anything of it. At first they would tell me, Miss Epps, you have paint. Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. And then now they don't even say anything. They expect it. Put this one up. But I think with that being said, when someone starts, I think they ought to start with either the 8x10 or the 5x7 jelly plate. I think it's normal size paper. I think the big one is a little intimidating. And I hardly ever use my circle ones because, I don't know, they just don't, I don't like my finished prints. I still don't feel like the camera is in the right place or still zoomed in. And I'll tell you what I'll probably do with this one. I will probably put a spray on it, like a Lindy's. This is gold. I don't know if I have any turquoise made right now. Oh, I do. So what I'll usually do if I have a print I kind of like, what I'll do is spray in on the white. And go with it that way. I am going to add some gold just to change that turquoise just a little bit. Let me use a heat gun real quick. That'll need a little more time to dry, but you get the idea. And it just adds that green. Took out the white, but I didn't lose the print that I had that I liked. So I'll show you kind of what we have from tonight. So I have this print. We have this Brayer paper. This turquoise and copper. This blackout print. That's still wet in places with the octopus. Yeah, the spray makes, and it's, you guys can't see it, but the Lindy's has it's a shimmer in it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's actually shimmery all over it. It's like, then we have this little guy. The grapes that I was working on. This Brayer paper, which has some pattern and texture in it. I think it'll be a pretty background for something. Just some cleanup type prints. This one doesn't look like it has anything on it when you look on the camera. And that one there, we added the elephant to a print. And I think this one's my favorite of the night. So, like I said, I think that the blackouts you get, I mean, it's a lot of, it finishes it, especially if you add a matte to it. I may take this one on another stream and turn it into something. You know, use it as a background and use it as a collage. Yeah, this Brayer paper, love, love, love. It's still got some pink over here, but I actually don't mind that pink because it had a pink base to begin, you know, it's got pink on it still. And this one, you know, cut up would be a cool building. It's about time to do another jelly print canvas of the buildings or something. You like this elephant here, Fancy, with that was on the, kind of reminds me of like almost hieroglyphics. The bright ones remind me of India. So let me stack all that out of the way. Here's our little friends we were working on. They need more detail, but I don't know. They might have to, it might be pip markers. Maybe that's what they need. Is some shading and add some depth in places, because I do think what I just added did make a difference in the in her face, in her ear. So we'll see. Like I said, may work on these tomorrow. If I will turn the camera if I work on them on. Bob's going to practice tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm going or not. But I'm thinking that this might be what they need. Really, really think that might be what they need. Because just doing that little bit really made a difference. I think that's what they need. So maybe that'll be a saving grace. I feel a little better about him. Don't you think that helps, CB? Still think they look like cats. But we'll see. All right, let me stop the recording.